Hi, and welcome to 3 Things in 3 Minutes. I'm Nersi. Today we're going to be talking about Century Eastern Wonders, which is the second game in the Century series from Plan B Games. It plays 2 to 4 players, and it takes about 30 to 60 minutes to play the game. And this game, like I said, is the second in the Century series, the first one being Century Spice Road. And similar in theme to that first game, what you're doing is you are collecting spices, upgrading them and trading them in an effort to ultimately fulfill some orders. But whereas the first game focused on deck building and hand management, this game is more about routing and moving your ship across the map to perform a lot of those trading functions and then delivering them to ports in the corners of the map. Things I like about this game, the rules are short and simple. They're pretty easy to wrap your brain around, and you can learn and teach the game pretty quickly, but it does have a lot of good strategy owing to a lot of the different markets that exist on the board, give you a lot of different options per turn. If you're also a fan of Century Spice Road, you can integrate the two games. There is a variant called From Sand to Sea where you use the market cards from Century Spice Road and you pull them in and use some of the components. The rest of the components come from the Eastern Wonders game. And really much of what comes from Plan B games, the components are great. The art is beautiful, the tiles look great, and they have really nice components. There are, again, plastic bowls where you can put the cubes for your different spices. A few things to consider. The instructions are short. They're probably a little bit too short. They actually exist on the front and back of a small card, which is nice, but there aren't really any examples, and it leaves some details out so that you actually will end up the first couple plays trying to figure out what they're talking about and looking at these tiny illustrations, because it refers to things but doesn't actually ever explain where they are. And if you look at the illustrations and use some common sense, you can probably figure them out. But I think that could have been a lot easier, especially for new players to the game. And similarly, there is a lot of info on the board. So unlike Century Spice Road, where you just have your hand, you've got the whole board in front of you, and you have a ton of options in front of you. And considering how quick the turns are, because their actions are pretty simple and short, it can be tough, especially if you have some people who are prone to overthinking things to try to figure out what they're going to do from turn to turn. So beware of that. And also the integration with Century Spice Road is nice, but it does diminish the options for both the cards and the market tile, so both of them have less of an importance. So if hand management or routing, one of those mechanics, is more important to you, I would just stick with one of those games and run with it. So in summary, simple but a lot to take in. The rules are vague, but the strategy is great. Integrates well, and excellent production values. Thanks for watching. Please comment and subscribe.